Hello, everyone. Happy Halloween. And welcome to a Thursday night live YouTube. Not live because it's Halloween. I have a busy evening, so I'm going to go ahead and film this video and post it for you for my regular 7 p.m. time. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, we're going to be using the Christmas labels. Hopefully you saw my video that was posted yesterday using this. And again, I'm going to be adding the Christmas labels, which also has a coordinating die set. And I'm going to be combining that actually with a couple of sets. We're going to be using Dear Santa, and we're also going to be using Humble Home. So let's go ahead and get started right away with those. And our supplies today, we don't need a lot other than those stamp sets. We're going to be using the book treat boxes. Now, I know that these are currently on back order. However, they are due back in next week. So I want to go ahead and show you how these work. They're really pretty easy to put together. So we're just going to we're going to get started with this. This is the inside bottom of the box. All of the adhesive is already on the box for you. So basically it is just a matter of folding things in. So we're just going to give those all a really good crease. They're pre-scored for you. And then we're going to remove this adhesive here and here. And I'm going to go ahead and put these in like this. And then I'm simply going to fold this over, making sure that I keep those tight. And then I'll just slide that in, set that down. Give that tape a press, and I'm going to repeat, okay? So then I'm going to take my bone folder and give that a really good burnish, just to make sure that that adhesive really grabs onto that paper, okay? So there is the inside of our box. Now this is the outside. Hence the storybook part, or the book treat box part. This is sized to fit a gift card. So when you go to put this on, you've got adhesive here so that you can put this in like so. And then when you fold it closed, there's also adhesive here so that you can secure that. We're not going to use this adhesive today because I want my recipients to be able to open their boxes without destroying them. So now that we have that ready, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do a little bit of decorating on here. I've got a piece of the Take a Bow Designer Series paper here. This is a 6 by 6 Designer Series paper pack. And these are the patterns. You get 12 sheets each of 4 double-sided designs in this pack. So we're going to start with this. This is a 2 7/8 by 3 7/8, and I'm going to round the corners of these two sides, and any corner rounder will do. And then we're going to add this to our box front. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal. And that's going to give me just a little bit of a border. Now, if you wanted to do the whole thing, you would need a 3 by 4 inch piece of paper. And then I've got a piece of 3 7/8 by 7/8 inch, and that's for the back of my spine. Getting to the end of this roll. Please hold on. I did not pull out a refill. Okay, there we go. Gets a little persnickety when it's toward the end of the roll. Okay, so we're going to add that right there. And again, that was 3 7/8 by 7/8. And then I have a piece that is, oh good, I did that right. Now I have a piece that is 1 1/2 by 1. And I'm going to put that down right here. And for that, I'm going to use some liquid glue. And I'm going to put it right on this tab. And I'm just going to set that down here, like so. Get that in place, make sure it's all lined up. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's good. And then I'm going to take my paper snips. And I'm just going to trim around this edge right here. And here. And that way, when I go to close my box, I won't have that white. Okay? So, let's go ahead and set this aside because now we're done with this part for the moment. And let's do us some stamping. So I've got a scrap piece of basic white. I've also cut with the Christmas labels die. I'm using this die right here. I've cut a piece of white. And I'm going to take my real red here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my white right on my pecan pie scrap. And I'm going to take from the Christmas labels, Sweet as Sugar Plum Candy. And I'm just going to stamp that down in real red. And now I have my label ready. Okay, and I can set that aside. And then we're going to take some basic black, or some Memento Tuxedo Black. And I'm going to ink up this little cookie girl, who really is sweet as sugar plum candy. I'm going to ink her up in Memento Tuxedo Black. And then I'm going to set her aside to dry while we do the rest of our stamping. So I wanted to take a piece of the pecan pie, and we're going to emboss. So I'm getting my embossing buddy from my Embossing Additions toolkit. We're going to bring in the Versamark ink. And from the Humble Home stamp set, we're going to take the little gingerbread house. And that's this one right here. Okay. So I'm going to ink that up really well with my Versamark. And I did end up touching my paper, and I just want to give that just another little squeeze here, and then we'll stamp that down and let that ink adhere. Okay, so we've got that, and then we're going to take our Wow Opaque Bright White embossing powder, and we're just going to pour that on. Okay, and that looks really good. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pour this right back in my bottle. This is the little coffee filter. keep in my tray. Okay, we can set all that aside. And then we're going to take our heat tool and warm that up. And then I like to heat the back of my paper because the paper will start to warp. So if I heat the back first, then when I put it to the front, it doesn't warp as bad. Okay. So hopefully you could see that turning to shiny white from the matte powder. Okay, and when we get that all done, then that is ready to go. Now it only takes a second to cool off. So you don't want to touch it immediately because you'll leave a smudge. But that's nice and dry and cooled off. So let's go ahead and take our Humble Home Punch. I believe these are on low inventory. So if you want to get those, you should grab them quickly. Okay, so we've got that. We can set it aside. And now we have our little gingerbread house. So we've got this and this. Now we can go ahead and color our little girl here. So let's bring in our Stampin' Blends. These are the colors that we'll be using. Okay, I'm going to start with the dark and light Flirty Flamingo. Oh, and I forgot we'll need the dark real red. So let's take the dark Flirty Flamingo. And we're going to color her little shirt here pretty quick. Let's give a little bit of dark where those shadows might be. And then we'll fill it in with the light Flirty Flamingo. Okay, so we've got those. Now let's take the dark real red. I'm just going to put a little bit of dark real red there. And then we'll take the light real red and we'll finish off that heart. Okay. And then we're going to take the dark and light soft sea foams. Let's go ahead and move those out of the way. Or dark sea foam and light shaded spruce is what I'm using. So let's go ahead and I'm going to start with the dark shaded spruce actually. I'm going to go every other stripe on these pajamas. Okay. And then we'll go back with the dark soft sea foam. And I'm going to color in the footies and the rest of the stripes. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to take a light SU 700 and I'm going to take the, well, actually, I'm going to start with the medium light SU 700. And I'm going to put some little cheeks here on her. And then I'm going to go with the light SU 900. These are in the Natural Tones collection, so of course you can, there are lots of different opportunities to get the perfect skin color for your project. Okay, the ear there, and I'm going to get these little hands. Okay, then I'm going to go back with the light petal pink, And I'm going to touch on that tongue. Okay. Now, light and dark pecan pie. And take the dark pecan pie, and I'm just going to go right around the cookie, her hand on the cookie. And then we'll go back with the light pumpkin pie and fill that in. Okay, now I'm not going to worry about those because I'm not using those. And then for her hair, of course, you could use whatever color looks like your little girl. But I'm going to use from the Natural Tones the medium deep SU 400 and the medium deep SU 600. This set of Natural Tones, one set, it has more red in it, and the other set has, so the evens have more red and the odds have more yellow in them. So I'm going to, I like to use the numbers that are 2 apart. So in this case, 600 and 400 for my light and my dark. So I'm going to start with my dark, which is the SU 400. This is darker because these start at the the lower the number, the darker the color. And I'm going to put in some dark highlights here where the shadows might be. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to go back with the medium SU 600. And I'm just going to blend that all together. And I'm going to go right over the top of the dark that I already put in there to help that blend. I love my blends. They make coloring so nice. Okay, and there's our little girl. She is all ready to go. Okay, so unfortunately there's no dies for this stamp set. And you could put her on a circle or something, but for this particular project, I need to be able to pop her up. So I'm just going to give her a quick little fussy cut. I'm going to turn my paper with my left hand and open and close the scissors with my right. I'm just going to leave just the narrowest of bubbles. I should have brought my water bottle in here. I feel like I'm going to start coughing. And I didn't bring the water in. That was not a good thing. Wait a minute. Yes, I did. There we go. That feels better. It's an almost empty water bottle, but it was enough to wet my back of my throat. Okay, so we're almost done here. Okay, there we go, and there she is. All right, so now we have the pieces that we need. Let's go ahead and bring back in our box. First of all, let's put we're going to add our gingerbread house to this soft seafoam circle that I have cut with the Stylish Shapes dies. And it is the second to the largest of the circles. And we are going to just put down some Stampin' Seal here. And then we'll add this just like that to our circle. And then we're going to take our little girl here and take a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals. And then I'm going to add her down here. She's going to stick off the circle just a bit. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring our box in. And I want to take and hold this here. And then I'm going to take some dimensionals. And I want this to set right here so it will hold this closed. But in order to make sure that nothing interferes with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a dimensional right here and another dimensional here. Okay. And then we'll make sure those aren't going to be seen, and they aren't. So now I can add a dimensional at the bottom of my little girl here. And I can add another one over here like that. And then I should have plenty. I'm going to put another one right down here just to make sure that everything stays nicely. So I'll put one about right there. And then those will all be supported really well. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead now that I have that, and I'm going to go ahead and put my box in. So I'm going to remove this backing. And I'm going to take my box and I'm going to tip it and put it, I want it to center, top to bottom. And then I'm just holding the back of the box straight up so that I know that when I set that down, my box is going to be where I want it. Okay? So I'm just going to take and use my bone folder. And now that is all together. So now we can take the dimensionals off of our, or the backings off of our dimensional pieces here. And again, I'm going to put this in here like this. And then I'm just going to set this down where I want it here. Might need to go, you know what, I'm going to go ahead before I do that, and I'm going to put my sentiment on so that I know that I have room for that. So I'm just going to add some dimensionals here. I want to put this at the top of my box. Okay, so we're just going to put this right like that. And then we can set this down. And everything should work out just about perfectly. Okay. I think I might add a dimensional down here at the bottom, just because I feel like it needs a little bit of extra support right there. Okay, now let's go ahead and finish decorating. So we have I've taken a piece of the real red and white baker's twine and I've made a little bow. I'm going to take a glue dot here And I'm going to add that to the back of my bow. And I'm going to set this right there, like that. And then I'm going to take the real red and white peppermint, adhesive back peppermints. And I'm going to take your pick tool. And I'm going to take one of the large peppermints and I'm going to put it right up there. Take another small peppermint and put it right here at the top of my gingerbread house. And then we'll take the medium peppermint and we will set that right there. Okay. And there you have it. Now, this box is sized to fit a gift card, and of course you can fit a lot of different candies in there. Ghirardelli chocolates with some Dove chocolates. Some Ferrero Rochers would fit in there. Okay. And then we're going to to close this up, we just slide that back underneath that little circle. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that project, and thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you need to order any Stampin' Up! Supplies, please shop my online store. It's listed in the description. And if you like what you saw today, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Good night.